Hi, this is Chris and Jill with Legacy Tours and Travel, and we're going to talk to you about how to be wise with your money and what to do with tip money. So first of all, we want to make sure that your travel with us has no drama. So the best thing to do is notify your bank before you leave or your credit card company, whichever you're going to use, but let that credit card company know that you're leaving, that you're going to be going either out of your state or out of the country so that if they start seeing charges from Egypt or Italy or England, that they don't shut down your account because they weren't notified that you were leaving. So make sure you connect with your bank and your credit card company. We also recommend that you take some currency with you before you travel. Now, some countries, it's really not necessary. If you're going to Israel, for example, you can get by with dollars quite easily. Even in Egypt, I've gone to Egypt and not gotten any Egyptian money. But if you're traveling to Europe, you will want to make sure you have EU currency with you. It's an easier way to make that smooth transition into the new country, and you're not having to worry about finding a place to exchange your money. Now, can you use your credit card in the in Europe, out overseas? Yes, you can. You will want to check with your bank. Sometimes they will add a service charge, but the convenience of being able to use your credit card is important. Also, we recommend a Visa, MasterCard versus American Express because you will find more countries will not use American Express because of their higher user fee. Okay, so the other thing, again, we're going to stress is making sure that your credit card, your money is on you all the time. So you're wearing it either around your neck, in a money waist bag, someplace where you have it in front of you and you know where it is all the time.
All right. I am often asked, we are both asked, how much money should we bring? How much cash do I have on hand? And it is a very personal decision, depending on the type of shopper you are. But in general, having a good amount of cash is nice to know. First of all, you will need it for meals and for shopping, but tips is another factor that you need to keep into consideration. Uh, we always outline the recommended tips in our travel and packing information and in our guest booklet. But you'll need to be aware that we're going to be tipping the driver, guides, tour managers, and often that is done at the end of the tour. Legacy Tours and Travel will handle tips at hotels and group meals and things like that. But there will be individual tips that you'll be responsible for. So you want to add that up before you go and make sure that you're keeping that cash separate. And if it needs to be in euros or dollars, we will let you know about that as well.
It's important to remember too that if you are going to be at a hotel and you use their porterage or you have a bellman help you with your bags, you will want to tip at least $1 or an equivalent to that per bag for their assistance. So always keep in mind these people in these other countries are really relying on your generosity and your goodwill in helping them feed their families and live their life. So,
and as Chris noted, we will give you a recommended level, and that is the bottom level. If you felt like you had exceptional service, you really want to show extra appreciation, you can definitely tip more. We're just giving you the recommended level. And in some countries, we'll explain this also. The tips are not expected, but definitely appreciated. But in other countries, they are absolutely expected, and their pay as a guide is much smaller, and they're really relying on the tips. So we'll give you that information. You should just be aware before you travel. That's something to keep in consideration when you're getting cash for your trip.
I do want to mention bartering.
Oh, true.
Is something that's not very familiar or common in the United States. However, a lot of countries overseas, especially when you get into the Middle East, into Africa, probably in the DR as well, they barter. That is customary, it is expected, and it's almost offensive if you don't barter to some degree. And so just realize that when you go in to shop, that if they offer you a price, you're probably going to go at least half of what that is and come back with a price. or depending on your interest level. But just remember, you're not being rude. You're not being disrespectful. In fact, you're actually being part of their cultural environment is bartering. So get over whatever feelings you have built up about that, because bartering can actually be pretty fun and enjoyable. And so just remember that is something that you'll experience. And again, as Jill mentioned, it's going to mean that you'll want to have cash on hand so that you can make deals in smaller amounts, you know, some fives, some ones, some tens, just small cash for things like that. So we've got another video to share with you on what to do with free time while you're traveling. And here's to your next adventure.